Hey guys, what's going on? Jeff here from Films at Home, and today we've got another 4K review to do of a Martin Scorsese movie. Hey guys, thanks for coming back to the channel. Today we've got to do a 4K review of a brand new title on 4K in the US. This was previously released out in the UK on 4K, but this is the first US 4K release, and so it's probably the first time that a lot of you will be seeing this, and it is Shutter Island. This is an exclusive Steelbook 10th anniversary edition 4K Ultra HD release. The only way this is going to be available is in the Steelbook, but it's not in a retailer exclusive. It's not just at Best Buy or Target or Walmart. You should be able to buy it everywhere, but they did decide to go with the Steelbook, which is also different than the previous UK release. Now, thank you for coming back to the channel. If you are interested in 4K and Blu-ray releases, reviews, home theater equipment reviews, and movies of any sort, I definitely would recommend subscribing to the channel. Thank you to all the new subscribers. We've been growing like crazy, and if you haven't subscribed yet, now's a great time because we have tons of great content coming in 2020. So I'd appreciate if you subscribe, turn on notifications, and make sure you like these videos so that others can see them. Now, in this review, we will talk about the video, audio, as well as the packaging and special features. I won't be talking much about the movie itself, but instead about this 4K release and the audio-visual quality of it. So with that being said, let's jump right into this review and take a look at the video. So Shutter Island is, interestingly enough for Martin Scorsese, actually finished at 2K. It has a 2K digital intermediate. Now, parts of the movie were shot on 65mm, 35mm, as well as digital. And so there's a mix of different elements that went into the source, but it was a 2K digital intermediate finished in theaters at 2K. As of this time of the video, I don't have any information from Paramount on whether this was remastered into 4K. There is some potential for that to have been done, but I don't think it's likely considering that there was a lot of digitally shot elements in this and that it was finished at 2K back in 2010 on release. And so I do feel that this is probably an upscale and not a 4K restoration. That being said, it's not that bad a thing. It also comes with Dolby Vision HDR, which is new. That was not available, obviously, on the previous Blu-ray release. It was also available on the UK 4K release, but we are getting that same HDR grading here on the US 4K release. And that was one of the things that was most impressive. Now, with a 2K digital intermediate, you are upscaling to 4K, and so detail is going to be, slightly improved, but to most people, you may not notice a difference, especially with something shot digitally, which, this already looks great on Blu-ray, and so it does look even better on 4K, but without a trained eye, will most people notice the difference there in resolution upgrade and fine details? No, probably not. But the biggest upgrade that I saw was the HDR, and it's clear that a lot of time and effort went into the color grading with the Dolby Vision and with the HDR, and that's as important as resolution when it comes to these 4K discs. And I saw a lot of great improvements in color. I thought it looked more realistic. I always talk about skin tones and kind of backlighting and the environment, things like grass in the sky and stuff that's really hard to can be really hard to color properly. HDR seems to help a lot by giving it a wider color gamut to run and really get that feel of a skin tone versus this yellowish orange. We just talked about that in Terminator as well, and I saw it here. There's a lot of good use of HDR. This is a fairly dark movie as well, but what the HDR didn't do in this case, and I know a lot of people may not like this every time, it didn't darken the image. If anything, I thought it actually brightened it a little bit, but made it much clearer. It has much more depth to it, and so that was super helpful, especially with a movie like this, which is already naturally dark, to bring out, it has very deep blacks, but now we've got depth in the picture, and so things in the forefront stand out against the backgrounds, which can be very dark, and you get that really nice color depth that HDR and Dolby Vision can give you. And so for that reason, I would say that if you're a big fan of Shutter Island and you really like Martin Scorsese movies and you want to own the best version, This 4K is the best version. Now, we'll talk about at the end whether I think it's worth upgrading because there's some other elements here. But the 4K version here visually is an improvement over the Blu-ray, and it is because of that HDR. So if you're an HDR geek, an HDR fanboy, and you really like that stuff, you're going to be very pleased with the visuals here on this release. Now, for audio, the one thing that was a little disappointing was that we didn't get a new audio track. This still has the 5.1 DTS HD audio track that came with the Blu-ray. It's a very good track, but I'm sure there are millions of Blu-ray reviews out there. I'm not going to talk about it much. Dialogue is clear. DTS HD is always very good, but it's kind of unfortunate that, we didn't get upgraded to an Atmos mix. That would have been cool to see, or a DTS X if you have the DTS HD already. So it looks like audio work wasn't done here at all. There may be some upgraded just audio in terms of compression, but you can't tell a difference. And to me, like I say, I'm not a professional audio person or visual person, or, I just like how do these movies look and sound at home in a typical home theater? I don't have the $1 million equipment. I like to, if everybody else has this similar type of home theater, I think it's important that I review things on a comparable home theater to what other people have and not spend millions of dollars on crazy equipment. I shouldn't say millions, but thousands and thousands of dollars when it's not realistic to review those, because this is what most people are watching it and listening to it on. And so in my typical home theater here, no, I couldn't tell a difference if this was any different than the Blu-ray release. It's a solid audio track, but it is what it is. It's, DTS HD Master Audio is a great audio track to have, but Atmos or DTS X would have been nice for this movie, although I'm not sure it would have been totally, able to take advantage of the power of Atmos, because there isn't a whole lot going on. This is sort of a thriller, drama, very dialogue driven, and there isn't a whole lot of action sequences, although there are some great environmental effects they could have included. So now on packaging, of course, that's what's brand new here, and we get a very nice Steelbook. Now, if you know me and you've been watching the channel for a long time, I don't really collect Steelbooks anymore. I used to, but it got too crazy out there for me running to Best Buy on opening day and trying to get in there at 9 a.m. so you can grab the Marvel Steelbook, and then they sell for $100 on eBay. Like, it wasn't worth it. I just want to see the movie. But this is the only way you can get this in the US right now, is with the Steelbook. It is has a very glossy finish, although fingerprints are definitely all over it already. You got some cool artwork on the front, pretty minimalist stuff on the back. The spine has the Ultra HD Blu-ray with Shutter Island. It's very well put together. It's a solid Steelbook, I think. And then on the inside, you got the creepy old lady from Shutter Island. And then you've got a Blu-ray and a 4K disc. No artwork on those. There was some question in the online forums because a lot of product images didn't show this being a Blu-ray 4K combo. It said it was a 2-disc set, but people weren't sure. So yes, it has a Blu-ray with it. So you can ditch that Blu-ray copy that you have in your collection now, and you're still going to have a Blu-ray disc here to share with friends, or possibly view in some other way, maybe pop it on your computer, whatever you want to do with it. If you need the Blu-ray, you'll still have it with this release. I do like the Steelbook. I like that it's all red and black. It's kind of cool. I like the glossy, shiny kind of look to it, although fingerprints are definitely an issue. And, overall, would I have rather had a slipcover set? Probably, because this will stand out on the shelf. But it is kind of a nice, it's got a premium feel to it, and so that's good. In terms of extras, you're getting exactly what was on the Blu-ray. There are 2 pretty long featurettes that were on the previous Blu-ray release. Those are ported over here on the Blu-ray disc, so you're not missing those, but there's nothing on the 4K disc to add. It's just simply the movie itself. So overall, yeah, this is a nice package. It's a nice Steelbook, and the 4K visuals are a definite upgrade. But I think that a lot of people will have a hard time upgrading from Blu-ray to 4K on this one because of the price. Right now, I was seeing the price listed at Best Buy for this for $28, and I think the majority of that is because it's a collectible Steelbook. I think if this was just a 4K slipcover, you would see this come out at $20, and you would probably see it drop to that $15 to $12, somewhere in there, $12.99 price range within a few months, at which point I think it would be a lot more appealing to people. I think the Steelbook and the price you're paying for the Steelbook is going to turn some of you off because it's so expensive, especially for a double dip, and it's not a new release. It's just an upgrade from a previous Blu-ray, which was already very well done. There's no 4K remaster here, just the HDR improvements, and there's no upgraded audio or special features. So what are you really paying for at $28? You're paying for the premium packaging, you're paying for the Steelbook, and you're paying for an HDR improvement. And in my mind, that is probably worth more the $15 price range than $28. And so in my opinion, would I go out and grab this on day one? Unfortunately, I would say no, unless you're a Steelbook freak. If you need to have Steelbooks and you're a huge Steelbook collector, then sure, you're going to want to grab these before they go out of stock. But I have a feeling that this may get its own individual release with a slipcover and just a standard Blu-ray case, depending on how the sales go. And so if the Steelbook does well, I bet we'll see a re-release of this in a standard packaging, maybe for $15. Otherwise, the Steelbook will have to drop in price, or it'll just go out of stock and out of print. And then your best bet is really going to be buying the UK release, which is just a standard slipcover Blu-ray case. It is cheaper than this Steelbook by quite a bit. You're just going to have to pay to import it if you're outside of the UK. But the nice thing is that all 4K discs are region-free, so you don't need a region-free player. You can buy 4K discs from any country and play them in any other country on any player. So if you did want to grab a cheaper version of Shutter Island from Paramount and you don't want to pay for the Steelbook, I would go check out sites like Zavi or Amazon UK and find it on there for a cheaper price. Then you'll just have to deal with importing fees and VATs and taxes and all that stuff, but it'll probably end up being cheaper than $28 for the Steelbook. So thanks for watching this. Like I said, Steelbook fans, you'll be happy, but everybody else, I would recommend that Amazon or UK release on Amazon or Zavi. So thanks for watching this review. I will leave a link to order this down in the description if you are interested in the Steelbook. I would recommend pre-ordering because you never know how long Steelbooks last. I always pre-ordered Steelbooks when I collected them just to make sure I had them. It's not worth the risk of trying to grab them. If you're going to get it on release day, you might as well pre-order it. So I'll leave a link down there. That helps support my channel through Amazon. Also, check out all the other links. I've got links to my merchandise store where you can buy shirts and different types of swag. I've got a link to other Amazon products that help support my channel, as well as a new link to Amazon Prime signups. If you are interested in Amazon Prime and you sign up for a 30-day free trial through my link, it helps my channel. I get $3 for every person who does it, and that goes a long way to help support the channel and help keep the content coming, getting better video equipment. I'm sure you can tell that videos have looked better recently. I've gotten some better equipment, invested in that. I've been investing back in the channel, and so hopefully you've noticed that, and it's gone a long way, and I really appreciate all the support. So go check out Shutter Island. Comes out very soon on 4K, and you'll be excited to see the visuals if you do upgrade. If not, check out that UK release. That's a great way to get these titles for cheaper if you aren't looking at paying premium for the Steelbook. I'll talk to you guys soon. I got some really cool stuff coming up. I've got a whole pile of trade-ins. I got to go to Bull Moose and trade in today, get some new movies, talk about collection updates. I've got more 4K reviews to do, some crazy stuff coming in, as well as some really cool Blu-ray reviews, which I haven't done in a long time. So stay tuned for all that. Make sure you're subscribed, and I will talk to you guys soon.